Welcome to the 11th episode of WONDERTALK, where I talk about my character's playthrough in Star Wars The Old Republic, but specifically about his background, his story, and his thoughts and motivations. And in this episode of WONDERTALK, I'm so freaking excited I got to do the world boss. Okay, in the last episode of the playthrough, I got spushed my face in as I tried to fight it. I just saw it and figured, why not? Let's end the episode this way. And then I asked my guildmates, do you guys want to come along? And so many people said yes. We were actually able to try it the night before, and unfortunately someone had already killed the world boss too recently and he wasn't up. And then we got to try again the next day, and it was there, and so many people showed up, and it looked awesome. So hopefully we're gonna get to try and do that for every boss. It just kind of depends who's available at the time, because you can't kill a world boss with 2 people. It doesn't work that way. Now, in this story, things are really getting interesting because we finally hit Lord Grathan's estate, and we also started the Revanite quest. And what I really wanted to talk to you guys about in WONDERTALK in this episode is the Revanite quest and Javiik's experience in it. The premises of the quest is that you're supposed to infiltrate the Order of Revan, a cult-like group that worships Revan and tries to follow his ways, and they seem to really focus more on the Imperial side of Revan. They acknowledge that he was both a Jedi and a Sith, but because they also align in their ideals with the Empire, they focus more on that side of things. What the agent that asks you to infiltrate the Order doesn't tell you is that there's going to be a true trial to get into it. You have a token, so they trust you, but you actually have to pass it. And you go into a cave, and you meditate at the Shrine of Revan, and in this cave has all the known relics and as many artifacts as they could gather that have to do with Revan himself, so as much of his spirit is concentrated there as possible in terms of his artifacts, and all the acolytes go there to die, and they've all led their spirit into that castle and devoted their time and energy to Revan. So it's a very spiritual, powerful in the Force area. And when you meditate at that altar, you actually see Revan, whether it's a vision or his spirit or a hallucination or physically Revan, you don't really get to know. We're going to assume Revan's not there saying, hey, what up, bro, Javiik, I assume it's meant to be more his spirit and his presence. And part of the ritual you're told before going in is that the trial helps you wash away, dissolve, and let go of your past. When you go through it, you're kind of born anew. The idea, I think, especially in the Sith story, is that you're letting go of whatever things you were before you were Sith. Maybe you were a farmer's son, maybe you were a nobody, maybe you were a noble's son. It doesn't matter anymore. Now you are becoming what you are. Specifically for the Revanites, you are becoming a Revanite, but you're also there just as a traitor. So one way or another, you're kind of washing away your past. And this is where Javiik comes in. A lot of his motivations so far have been specifically tied to his past. He grew up on Alderaan with his parents. They eventually hit some troubles and were separated and put into slavery. And a lot of his motivations were try and get money, try and get freedom, try and get power so that he could escape and hopefully go and try and find his family again. He doesn't know where they are, if they're okay, but he assumes somewhere out there in the galaxy he might be able to find his mom and his dad. And here's where that Revanite trial comes in. Javiik has also kind of been embracing the Sith side of things. He was very uninterested in killing anyone at first. He didn't want to, and then as time wore him down, the more trials he had to go through, the more people tried to kill him, the more he would be more open not only to the dark side of the Force and the lightning, but also to just actually dealing with all these problems that come to him, and the more desensitized he's become. So here is the discussion topic for this episode of WONDERTALK. Do you think that Javiik would have truly dismissed his past in that cave and become Sith, or become Revanite maybe? He doesn't know enough about Revan, I think, to really have truly joined their clan, but at least become true Sith and start embracing the Empire rather than being so abrasive towards it? Or do you think he's really clinging on to his past, to his want to find his mother and father? Which path do you think he'll follow? Leave your ideas in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of WONDERTALK.